Hi guys, welcome. If it's your first time here, it is Bold TV. This is another storytelling. So the story I'm gonna tell you guys, it's short. It's 4 stories. Actually, maybe I can do three. 3 stories. Very short story. I'm gonna start with the first one. Maybe if we have time, I can squeeze in the 4th story. So I'm just gonna squeeze in short stories in this one video. Okay, now let's go with story number 1. So story number 1 is this particular guy met this lady in school. They went to the university together, and I think they knew each other from, you know, each one's village. They are like neighboring villages, so all is good. They finished high school and came to the city for their college. The guy was doing accounting, the girl went to do law. All right, so after graduation, they obviously tried to date, it didn't work, so they just like, you know what, forget about it. But then they met again in the second largest city back home. And then when they met again, okay, they just decided, okay, we'll be friends. And then one time they went for this party, one thing led into another, and the girl came and told the guy a few weeks, actually a few months, that she is pregnant. So the guy had no choice but to, you know, go. He doesn't have to, but you know, sometimes I believe just because you got married, and especially just because you got pregnant, especially when if you got pregnant by accident, I don't think it's a must for you to marry the person, especially if you guys, you know, don't see the future together, right? But he went ahead and married the girl, you know, just to honor her and all that stuff, which is fine. Married the girl, of course, they had their first child, then they had the second child, and then the third child. And then now, what happened is one of the child, the middle kid, was always sick, you know. And the firstborn, by now, the firstborn is I think about 15 or 16-year-old. So, but the middle child is always like sickly. One moment he's okay, then the next moment he's sick and all that stuff. So anywho, so one day, of course, the kid was taken to the hospital, the middle child, and usually the mom wants to be the one to be in charge of all, you know, hospital runs, medication and all that stuff. But that particular day she got delayed at work, and then her husband called her and she wasn't answering. So he decided that, you know what, the little boy's temperature was really going high. He called the doctor, and the doctor told him to bring the boy in. So when he brought the boy in, and then they tested the boy, and apparently he wasn't been eating, and he was very dehydrated, and they also found out that he was a little bit anemic. All right, so the doctor said, you know what, I think we're going to need a blood transfusion. And the dad is like, oh no, I can do it. The doctor is like, you know what, we can use some from our bank. The dad was like, no, he's my son, let's do it. So of course they went and checked the dad, and then the doctor came and told him that, you know what, it's not a match, unfortunately not today. You will not be doing the blood transfusion. However, they will use from their bank, and the doctor said, you know, he will discuss everything with the dad once everything is stable with his son. And while they are doing that, the mom called. The mom is like, oh, I had a missed call. And then he's like, yes. So the dad is like, well, yeah, we're in the hospital. He's stable, but I think we're not going to take long. We'll be coming home soon. So he didn't tell the wife about the long story, you know, the hydration, the blood transfusion and all that. So the mom just, you know, rushed home and started making dinner and whatnot. So of course, once the doctor was done, the doctor called the dad to come and talk to him. And he said, oh, the reason we could not do the blood transfusion is because unfortunately your blood doesn't match with the boy. And the dad is like, what do you mean it doesn't match? This is my son. I have 3 sons, and this is my the second son. And the doctor is like, you know what, also I did receive your lab result from, I think there was a lab result that he did. And the doctor told him that, you know what, I also wanted to discuss the lab result with you, but thank goodness you came to the hospital because you brought your son, so we might as well talk about everything at once. And then so the doctor's like, which one do you want to start with? It's like, you know what, since you say my son is stable, let's discuss my lab result, then we can go back to my son. The doctor was like, fine. And the doctor is like, you know what, everything is okay with you. The only issue that we saw here that we probably need to do a little bit of research and maybe to do more tests is the fact that you are sterile. You are sterile. So in other words, the doctor is telling him that he cannot have children. So he cannot have children. And then he's asking the doctor, what do you mean I cannot have children? You know, I have 3 sons. The doctor is like, yes, you cannot, you are sterile, you cannot have children. And we're just going to do more research to see what the issue is, and also to see if it's if it was as a result of STD or whatnot, but we will do more results. So the guy was so confused, and then he's like, let's move on to my son. So what is the issue with my son? And the doctor was like, well, unfortunately, the reason we could not do the blood transfusion from you is because your blood doesn't match his. In other words, the boy is not your son. The guy, basically hearing that, he fainted, of course. And then they came and they were fanning him and all that. He regained his consciousness. He's like, doctor, he was like, doctor, tell me again, what do you mean? So are you saying that this son is not mine? The doctor was like, you know what, unless miracle happened between the other 2 children, but this one is definitely not your child. And then the doctor gave him a DNA test because it's a family doctor. He needed to go deep. So he showed him that, you see, this is the DNA test that we had to take. And the reason we did the DNA test because I wanted to verify as far as your lab result is concerned. So the guy was so upset. The guy was just crying. He's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, what's going on? So the doctor told him that, you know what, if you want, I can also do the test for your other 2 children to see if they are yours or not. Maybe if we are lucky, maybe one of them will be yours, or maybe 2 of them will be yours. But otherwise, this is all we have right now. And then the guy is like, you know what, that's fine. And then he asked the doctor, can I take my son home? The doctor is like, no, we need to monitor him. You go home and come back tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So of course he went home. First of all, he called his brother, and the brother told him that, you know what, this is so weird, but what he need to do, he should not tell his wife about the DNA test and the sterile story. What he can do is he can just try to take the other 2 kids in the hospital and see if they can also get tested to see if those are his children. So at least before he can tell his wife, or maybe the wife might hide something, or before drama gets out of hand, he should not talk to the wife about it. So he said that's fine. So of course he went home. He just pretended everything is fine. The following day, of course, the mom is like, I'm sorry, I have a meeting. Can you go to the hospital and pick the little boy? And he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll go with the brothers. We will bring him home. And the mom was like, fine. So she rushed because she was working as a CEO of a company. Like he did low, but he worked with different company, and she was able to go up in the ranks. Anyway, so now the following day, obviously, the dad went back to the hospital with the 2 boys, and the doctor did a DNA test on them. But they didn't really tell them what the tests were for. But the dad just said, you know what, your brother had this pneumonia. We think it's pneumonia, so we just want to test everyone in the family to make sure nobody caught it, because usually kids will easily get this type of illness. So the kids were fine. They were fine. They said that's okay. So obviously they took the test, and the video is cutting. I'll be right back. Hold on. So anyways, guys, so the dad obviously took the other 2 boys, and they did the test as well. And then the son that was sick in the hospital, he was brought home. And then the following day, the dad went to the hospital now to go see the doctor. And when they did a test, and the doctor confirmed that, you know what, these other two children also are not yours. So yeah, so those are not your biological children. Obviously, they have a separate dad. The guy was so disappointed. He was so disappointed. He's like, oh my God, how come his wife didn't tell him anything? So anywho, so now instead of telling his wife, he still decided not to tell the wife. He went and bought ancestry DNA to see who those children actually belong to. So when he went and bought the ancestry DNA, when the result came, the weird part is when he looked at the result, they have a guy that comes to the house as a chef once in a while. So one of the sons actually is for that chef. And then the DNA also showed there was another guy that does an event for them anytime they have event, because you know the wife is a CEO. Every now and then they have like company events and all that stuff, and he knows these people. That's the weird thing. And then the DNA showed that that guy is, because they actually shows their picture, and the reason for that, it looks like maybe somebody in their family had taken the DNA test. That's why their record was there. And then of course the last child showed that is related to their gate man, but he cannot see exactly whether it is the gate man or is the gate man's relative or whatnot. So anyways, he did not say anything. So during that time, they were preparing for the wife's birthday. The wife was turning 50. So they wanted to do the big old birthday to celebrate the wife. So what he did, of course, he went and, you know, he was part of the organizing of the birthday party and all that stuff. And then he brought the DNA test and enlarged everything and hid it, so that when visitors come, he's actually gonna make it as if, you know, like making an announcement. He wants to appreciate his wife and all that stuff, and then everything can just appear on the screen. And that's exactly what he did. And he told the wife, he's like, you know what, I found out, you know, I'm a sterile and none of these boys are mine. So of course the wife was like, everyone was so shocked, and the party was packed, right? It's like a birthday party was packed. People from her work, people from his work, neighbors, family, friends, everyone was there. Everybody was so shocked. Even the wife was shocked. And instead of her apologizing, she's like, so you knew all this? You didn't tell me, blah, blah, blah. I was covering. Of course, I knew you were sterile. That's why I went to do all this so your family can stop talking. I was tired of your aunt always asking, when am I going to have children? When am I going to have children? So you should be grateful that you have people that will... Hey, the woman just turned everything against him. Man, that was crazy. So anyways, that is the end of story number 1. Of course, there's a lot of other dramas that continue, but we are doing short story today, so that is story number 1. Story number 2. Story number 2. So this guy, very wealthy guy, very well known in the community. He's a doctor, and he's known in the community because he usually uses motorbike to go and treat people in different villages, because certain villages don't have proper roads, so you need like a bicycle or a motorbike to go through, right? So this guy, everyone in the village knows him, like very nice doctor, very beloved doctor and all that stuff. So the doctor is, well, obviously married to his wife. They have 4 lovely children. Everything is fine. What can go wrong? Nothing, right? Wrong. Anywho, so one day, the wife was hearing rumors. The wife was hearing rumors that, oh, this doctor has another family with children in a different place, blah, blah, blah. And every time the wife will confront him, he will say, no, you know, I only have one wife, I don't have other family, blah, 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 blah. Okay, everything was going well. So of course, they were bringing up their children. Children graduated, children went to school, you know, graduated college, university, right? Everything is going fine. And then the firstborn got a job. The firstborn got a job in an insurance company, so he was working in the insurance company as a manager. And then during that, in that insurance company, anytime he leaves his work to go across the street, because there's a restaurant across the street from his office where they usually go there to go for lunch. Anytime he goes for lunch, he meets this girl there as well. They'll just be talking, but few times he will say hi to the girl will just ignore him and blah blah blah. And then now they started joking, hi troublemaker, hi troublemaker. So anyway, so they started to get to know each other and blah blah blah. One thing led into another. The girl got pregnant, and the girl is like, you know what, I'm pregnant, so unfortunately I can't go to my family house, otherwise I will be deleted. So then the family will unalive me, because in our culture you cannot get pregnant before marriage. And he's like, no, don't worry, that's fine, I have a job, I'm getting paid well, so we'll get married. So she said that's fine. So then he went home and told his parents and told the mom that, you know what, I did a little bit of a mistake, I need to get married. The issue is, unfortunately, the girl is pregnant, so we really have to rush. And then the dad is like, why will you do that, blah blah blah, very careless. Whoa. The mom too, but of course they cool down after some times, and they're like, okay, the family need to meet and we need to arrange on how to go and meet the girl's family. They said, okay, no problem. So of course the family met. They called the elders in the family. Firstborn son want to get married. Everyone was so happy, everyone was excited. So they started making arrangement for the marriage, and all that stuff. So obviously they went to the girl's family, right? So they make the arrangement. But my phone is trying to die or something. So they make the arrangement to go to the girl's family and all that stuff. So obviously that, okay. So all right, so they had like three vehicles. One vehicle, it is the dad and the wife. The uncle was the one driving. Mom and dad were sitting in the back, and other two relatives. And one auntie, like, she was like one of the troublemaker auntie. She was sitting in the front with the uncle. And then other relatives on the second car, other group of relatives on the third car. So now they went for introduction. So of course the girl's family were expecting them, and then they arrived, blah blah blah. So now everyone is happy, greeting each other. And then one of the uncle called the girl's mom, that to come and greet the visitors, but also to go and bring the girl so that she can confirm if this is the guy that she wants to marry. So when the girl's mom came to greet the visitors, she was shocked. She was shocked. She's like, what are you doing here? Called him by his name. Edward, what are you doing here? The dad is like, Priscilla, what are you doing in this house? He's like, what do you mean you're asking me? This is my house. But the question is, what are you doing here? And then he's like, I'm here with my son. He's like, how can your son marry his sister? Jesus Christ. And the mom is like, what's going on? Now that mom was like, the girl's mom is like, oh, you don't know? I'm the second wife. We have 5 children. And now, so are you guys telling me that the brother got his sister pregnant? You didn't know that your husband had another wife? And then the wife started yelling, screaming, wow, crying. It's like, how come? And then he told the husband, I've been asking you if you have a woman elsewhere. You keep denying. So now the brother got the sister pregnant. So what are you gonna do with that? So it was drama, huge drama. Anyways, guys, that is the end. Of course, the drama continues in that story, but because it's a short story, we are going to move on to story number 3. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, story number 3. This story is just to let you guys know that you cannot trust anyone. You cannot trust anyone. Be careful who you trust, but in most cases, you cannot trust anyone. Okay? So, man, I don't know how to start this story. Anyways, So this family, how should I put it? This one actually I had it from back home. The family, the dad and the mom, of course, great couple. They had 4 children, and then they were having hard time. You know, they're having really hard time. Like, let me say, hard times in terms of they are not, you know, well off per se. And then one day the dad was very ill, and of course they took the dad to the hospital. The dad did not make it, right? So now it is the mom and the 4 children that have remained. So it's like they keep going from different houses to try to work for people and all that stuff. So one day one of the girl went to the well, you know, like the way the African well where you go to fetch water. So she went to the well to fetch water, and then she found this old woman. The lady looked familiar, and she asked the old lady, "Oh, are you okay? Because it's kind of late. I can help you and drop your water to your house. Then I can go to our place." The old woman is like, "No, no, no. Don't worry, I'm okay." But the girl insisted. It's like, "You know what? No, grandma, you cannot do that. I cannot let you take this water all the way home." The grandma was like, "Fine." So the girl helped the grandma, took the water for her at home. And then she went back to the well to carry her water and go home. But what she did, but while she was at the grandma, you know, she was helping the grandma that needed help. So apparently grandma took something and put inside her bucket of water. She did not see, because she used her bucket to carry the water and go and empty it in grandma's home, and then now to take her bucket back to now come and carry water to take it home. So grandma just went back home with her empty bucket that she came with. So this grandma put something in that water, in the bucket. The little girl didn't know, because she's innocent. She's just helping an innocent person. It's like, in this world, can you not help people again? So anyways, so she went with the bucket now, went back and fetched water. And then as she was going home, you know, like when you're carrying water back home, there is a way you fold a piece of clothes, right? Some people use clothes, some people use grass to make it round, to put on your head so that your bucket can sit on your head, right? So while she put her bucket down, she drank a little bit of the water and then put this thing back on her head. And then she started heading home. All of a sudden, she started feeling dizzy. But thank goodness, she was just close to the compound at their home. So the moment she arrived at the compound, she just lost it. She fell down because she was feeling dizzy. And then of course the siblings came, "Mama, mama, mama." They started calling the mom. They're asking her what happened. She's like, "Did you eat anything?" She's like, "No, I just drank water from the bucket." "Did you see anybody?" She's like, "Yeah, I saw." She mentioned the name of the grandma. She's like, "No, I saw her at the well, so I insisted to take water for her. So I used our bucket to get water for her. Then I came with the bucket to do." Then they're like, "No, no, no, no. Nobody helps that old woman. We are hearing stories that she's not a good woman." And then the brother is now saying, "Well, even though she's not a good woman, but our sister did a good deed. She saw her at the well and helped her with the water." And then obviously the girl continued to fall really sick. And then the following day she could not even talk. So they had to take her to the in the villages. Usually they have those native doctors that help with traditional healing and stuff. So of course they took her to the traditional healing, and the traditional healer is like, "Oh," so they told the traditional healer what happened. And then they said, "Well, we've been hearing a lot of things about that woman, and it is true, because that woman went to the well to do something to do some her incantation or whatever it is that she went to do in the well. But unfortunately, she was not supposed to meet anybody, but bad luck, she met your sister. So now, because she was upset, what she went to do now is not gonna succeed, because she was not supposed to meet any human. Man, that's crazy. Apparently she was not, the grandma was not supposed to meet anybody on her way, right? And her going to that well, she wasn't expecting to meet somebody. So she went to that well to do some sort of, you know, their juju-like stuff in that water, in that well. So anyway, so that's what the guy said, she will help her, but it's gonna take a while for her to recover, because the mistake she did is she drank water from that bucket, and that bucket was already, that woman had already put something in that bucket. So they told the mom, the other thing you can do, you guys can just go to her and ask for forgiveness. Go and tell her exactly what, you know, the traditional doctor was, the traditional healer was telling them. Go and tell the woman exactly what I told you guys, that you know, you are sorry. She went at the well at the wrong time, and unfortunately, you know, her plan didn't go as planned. So, you know, so the mom and the brother, so everybody went to that old woman to go and beg. But when they got there, they are trying to knock, nobody's answering. Knocking at the door, nobody's answering. They had to call some of the boys and her neighbors. The boys came, and then nobody answering. They're like, that is so unusual. So they broke the door. When they broke the door, they found out that that grandma is gone. He left the world. I don't know if we're supposed to say dead in this channel. But anyways, they found the grandma was not breathing, and that was the end of the grandma. So everybody started panicking, everybody started crying. So they went back to the traditional healer. It's like, oh my God, we went to ask for forgiveness, but we found that she's gone, she's not breathing. And then the traditional healer said, no, but she's a spirit. Did you guys still ask for forgiveness? They're like, no, but how can we ask for forgiveness from someone that is dead? That, no, you go back and ask for forgiveness. So now they went back. When they went to ask for forgiveness, she's not there. Like, where's the body? People started looking, like, where's this woman? And then the mom is like, you know what, the mom and certain aunt was like, you know what, let's just ask for forgiveness. We're already in her house. If she's now a spirit, let the spirit hear that, you know, we have come to ask for forgiveness. So everybody started asking forgiveness. Please, we are sorry, blah, 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 blah. And then some people started praying. As they opened their eyes, they see her. It's like, what? Now we see you, now we don't. Now we see you, now we don't. It's like basically like a movie. You see, now you see her, now you don't. When they got there, she was not there. They started praying, they started asking for forgiveness, they started praying, they opened their eyes, she's lying there. One of the weirdest thing anyways. So anywho, they finished asking for their forgiveness, they went back to the traditional healer. And then the traditional healer said, okay, gave them something to bring back. So they gave them something, I don't know, whatever they mixed, they brought the thing back. So they told them to give to that grandma as a sacrifice. So they left all the stuff in her heart, and then of course they left. And then when they left now, all of a sudden, just like magic, the girl started feeling better. So I'm like, this world, can't you not help people? You cannot help people. So sometimes, and I remember one of my aunts used to tell us, sometimes if you see people, if you see maybe a mad person, an old woman struggling, be careful who you're helping, because sometimes they are not who they think you think they are. Sometimes they are just agent of God knows what. You just have to be careful. And also, if you decide to help, especially if you're giving money or if you're giving gift, just whatever gift you're giving them, say, you know what, I'm giving you this gift, and I disconnect, deassociate myself with this gift, you know.